They're not saying this for no reason. I'm telling you right now. Listen to what they're saying right now. All this different verbiage coming out of them right now. You can tell they're saying it because they know something everyone else doesn't. You can tell they're saying this because they've already told you the connections. If they have these certain high level connections, right, to banks, large businesses, to now, allegedly, this is what they claim, to political figures, then they know that via those connections, they can make a big push. They know it. Here's the thing. Watch them closely. I'm talking about Ripple. Watch them closely because they're sort of like Bitcoin. They lead the way and pave the way for other Bankcoin companies. So what they're doing now, other Bankcoin companies will try their best to follow in those footsteps later on. That could equal a lot of value, a lot. So that's why you're getting statements like this on a Friday, right? Or towards the weekend, because they want to make these statements. But once again, I'm going to tell you, why don't they make these statements earlier in the week? Why don't they make these statements on a Tuesday, Monday, Wednesday, right? They wait until a Friday, a Saturday, Sunday, even a Thursday evening, knowing you're busy. Everybody's busy. Because like they said, they might hold a little bit of XRP. Now they may not sell a lot of XRP. Why? Because they know that price is going to go up. They want to capitalize on it. Because they know that there's a whole host of businesses, banks, and now, once again, let me reiterate, I can't stress this enough, political figures that are going to step in and get involved, whether overtly or covertly. Especially if you see what's going on right now with their funding, with their capital being scrutinized. They're going to look for different ways to make capital, and crypto is definitely on the board, 100%. So you get statements like this. It says, Garlinghouse says, and remember that connection, folks, RLUSD, XRP. It opens the door for XRP. XRP is the moneymaker. XRP is where they want to make the money. XRP is where the focus is. They made that very clear. Wait. This is what he says. Garlinghouse says he expects RLUSD to be one of the top 5 stablecoins by the end of the year. We can draw so many different pathways from that, so many different conclusions from that, so many different ideas. One, if it does rise dramatically like that, that's a lot of new entities and individuals utilizing the XRPL. One, that affects XRP because every single person that has an account on the XRPL must have an allotment of XRP. What, like 5, 10? I don't know what it is anymore. It's been so many years. But they have to have some XRP to utilize the XRPL. 1, 2, David Schwartz, multiple times, David Schwartz. Let it be known that everything that crosses the XRPL will affect XRP. It will touch that price. That's just 2. 3, a lot of these entities that will be utilizing RLUSD are in the business of making capital. So, along with the utilization of RLUSD, they will be on XRPL. I'm assuming that Ripple, as a smart company, is offering services to a lot of these companies to make it easier for them to utilize RLUSD. Right? And if they're doing that, then XRP's in play. And if they're doing that, and these are moneymakers, these are asset managers, these are banks, then when they start to build on the XRPL, if it goes that far, and that's what Ripple, SBI, Volante Tech want. They want them building on here. They want them using these services. They want them to be able to use services that were built on here but offered to them. Right? In other words, I didn't say that too clearly. They didn't build it, but they're using those mechanisms. In order to make that dramatic amount of money, they're going to need some XRP. They will dip in and out of XRP. Listen, they dip in and out of silver. They dip in and out of gold. They dip in and out of Bitcoin. They're going to dip in and out of XRP. And with each day, XRP is becoming a bigger and bigger topic. You're seeing it. I'm seeing it. Right? From the mainstream media at the top to everyone else, in the independent media, all talking about XRP. It's generating a certain energy right now, isn't it? That counts when it comes to the next leg up of the bull run. It's coming. All the experts are saying it. All the top level people are saying it. And then if you watch their actions, which we're going to cover a little bit later, if you watch their actions, every time there's a dip, they gobble up these legacy coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and they also gobble up these utility coins. There's a reason for it, folks. Something major is coming. I don't say that lightly. I don't. But that's why I think that's one reason, or a few reasons, why he can say this. He expects RLUSD to be one of the top 5 by the end of the year. They have the connections. They have them. They have the how did they used to say in old school? They have the connections for the selection. Remember the people used to say XRP is the chosen one? Remember that? Huh? You mean to tell me they were wrong? They were right. Ripple has a step. They have political connections, bank connections, business connections. They have the connections for the selection. They are putting themselves in a position, in a prime state where they can be selected for all of these different things. Transparency, smart contracts, AI wants to implement that. They haven't updated us on that. I think it's a secret weapon. And I know how that sounds, but it's an ace in your pocket, a secret weapon. It's something you bring out and put on the table when you want to make sure that that deal is 100% done, sealed, and they're going to be with you semi-permanently. You want to say permanently, but there's never a guarantee. And that money is going to flow. They're looking at doing something historic. They want trillions. I'm telling you now, there's no way you settle for the bottom if you're a winner. You want the top, you want the gold, you want the trophy. They want trillions flowing through the XRPL, through RippleNet, whatever they're calling it these days. That's what they want. And they said that they're going to possibly not sell as much because they know they're going to make some unbelievable amount of profit. That's why, not financial advice. That's why they're doing it. It's the same reason why BlackRock keeps gobbling up the Bitcoin. When everybody else sells, they're gobbling it up. We'll get to that later. But watch this also. See? Everyone's already, I know, get ready for the weekend, have fun, relax. I hope you're doing all of that. Look what they put out here. He says that about RLUSD, and then people forget. I don't forget. I'm on this. I have to see this mission through. All right. There's a reason I'm here. I want to see this trophy. I want to see the finishing line. I want to see crypto make it to where I know it can make it. I know. Look at this. I don't forget. Australia. This article says Australia outlines crypto regulation plan, promises action on debanking. I don't care about that. Let's forget that. We know that's just another sign of they're all removing these barricades and restrictions and penalties on crypto. That's what they're doing. Promises action on debanking. So they're undoing things just like the US did. Didn't I say this? We read articles that said where other countries literally said they'll wait to see what the US does. And then I extrapolated that because I know a lot of other countries are not going to say that, but they do that as well. You see that happening here in Australia. Here's what people are forgetting. Who's deep in Australia? Who was in there first with the banks? Huh? Which Bitcoin company was working with a bunch of banks in Australia? Go to Google right now. If that's your search engine, that's the one I use. Type in Ripple Banks Australia, something like that, and let it blow your mind if they haven't taken those articles down. But most people know that who are OGs in XRP. Ripple was the first. In Australia, folks, I'm talking 2-3 years ago, we were covering this multitude of articles, at least 3 to 4 major banks they were working with. What has happened since that time? I don't know. I don't work for Ripple. I don't know. But this, now that crypto is about to be unleashed, this could be major. What? They were in there early, and we know for a fact the banks have remained active when it comes to their pursuit and implementation or attempting to implement DOT technology. We know it. Why? Why do we know that? What's the other? We got to bring this one in here, folks. This is going to get serious. What's the other utility coin? Now they're a bank coin company now. Yes, they are. Who was the other one that got in deep with Australia recently? Do you remember? None other than Chainlink. Oh yeah. Oh, and didn't they hit the ground running? Chainlink? The people are sleeping on Chainlink. Holy smokes. It has to be the most underrated utility coin of all time. It has to be, because other ones, people know about them. They might sell them. They might not hold them, but they know about them. They discuss them. Chainlink, I don't know what's going on with that. People are like this with Chainlink. Shh. How? When it's so bullish? They work with a bunch of banks around the world and they work with Swift. What? So you have those two heavy in there, but Ripple is heavy in all. They were first before Chainlink, years before. So we'll see what happens. So when I hear Australia, my mind automatically goes there. Because anytime, Ripple could start coming out and saying, hey, yeah, we're doing this with this bank and that bank. I think it's going to take some time, to be honest. I do, because a lot of this is still going on where they're still trying to smooth out regulations, legislation. They're still trying to correct the problems of what previous eras of thinking have caused. So I think all of that has to be undone first, and then you're going to start to see this wave of information come out. I could be wrong. I'll take it earlier than that. If they want to start releasing bank information now, I'll take it. For sure, I'll take it. But I'm just trying to be reasonable and logical. Even though I'm excited, I don't want to, in my mind, force the information and say, well, I think they're going to do it now. Like, no, to be reasonable, I think that you still have to have all these things undone first, and it's still happening. The environment, the conditions have to be molded just a little bit more. I think that's what's happening now. You're seeing it in the U.S. You're seeing it in in Australia, around the world. And then when you go back to the U.S., you have to respect the states. So there's still a lot of things that need to be done when it comes to the states. Like you look at for example, you look at what's going on with the Bitcoin reserve. To me, that's clear cut. But with some of the states, they're still battling on that. Some states are saying, yes, let's do a state level Bitcoin reserve, or we're for the federal level Bitcoin reserve. And then some are saying no. So there's still that tension there. There's still a lot of confusion there. Things are being worked out, right? So I think we'll hear about the banking information just a little bit later. But these things here, what we're seeing now, the foundations being laid are major, 100% major. So now this is what it says. Okay. The Albanese-led government intends to release draft legislation in 2025 for public consultation. When in 2025, but when? Later this year, clearly. Is it the middle of the year? Is it the end of the year? Give us a little bit more specificity. That's why I need specificity. It says here, for public consultation, and promise to work with Australia's 4 largest banks to better understand debanking. Somebody out there you might say, well, Mick, they don't owe you anything. They owe the public. They work for the public. I know they don't work for me. I don't live in Australia. That doesn't mean I can't call them. Trust me on this. We've done this before. They don't want 100,000 more people calling them every day to see what's going on and trying to demand specificity. Listen, just give it to the people. Give them what they want to know. It's just information. Anyway, it says this. It's just my humble opinion. Government should always work to serve the people. That's what they're supposed to do, not keep things covert. And, I don't agree with that. Australia's government, under its ruling center-left Labour Party, has proposed a new crypto framework regulating exchanges under existing financial services laws and has promised to tackle debanking once again. So now another thing that's being exposed majorly, as you can see, is if they can do this now, why didn't they do this before? Clearly things were rigged. Clearly there wasn't a problem with crypto. If all of a sudden now, literally in a span of a few months, a few weeks, everyone's just like, yep, crypto's good now. Yep, we're going to undo everything that was done before. Then what was the problem before? It's that, and that shows you the, for lack of a better word, the superficial fakeness of these systems. It's all a game. They just change on the drop of a dime like that. While the people had to go through harsh times, these governments, political figures, it's just a game to them. And they just flip it like it's nothing. Just, this day you're in violation. This day crypto bad. And the next day, not bad. You can have crypto. You can play with crypto now. It's unbelievable to me. I hate Well, let me not go there. Let me not go there. I don't like to waste time. You know, life moves quickly. These moments move quickly. We don't have time to waste. We don't. And these entities like this, they waste a lot of humanity's time. They do. So, you know, that's why I stay out of a lot of this stuff. I don't let it clog up my mind. I don't. Yes. Do I focus on the financial industry? Yes, that's what I do. But everything else, all that politics and all that, the nonsense. No. I let people update me on that. My close people, that's what they do. Okay, you let me know every once in a while something important is going on. Other than that, I don't clog my mind up with that nonsense. I know you don't want to hear that probably, but let's move on here. I wanted to point that out, okay? Okay, well, I have one more XRP article. Let's skip that for now. Let's go to the Bitcoin because I don't want to. I've been missing a lot of the Bitcoin articles. I have been covering one or two. But let's get to this because this is important because Bitcoin is going to lead the way and they're telling the people every day what's coming. It's like the people don't want to believe it, but hey, to each his own. They don't have to believe anything, but it's right there. BlackRock defies Bitcoin bleed with 4-day ETF haul. What? I told people. This is not a game. They play it like it's a game. It's not a game. And they play the game like Michael Jordan. And I don't mean that they're the best of the best and not BlackRock. I'm talking about the people at the top. They play it like their life is on the line with the utmost seriousness. And they see the catalyst. I'm telling you, look at what happened with gold. You have those same entities interested in Bitcoin. And the ones who are not openly declaring that interest in Bitcoin, they have the knowledge of the capital, the value that can be made by dealing with Bitcoin. So let's just do this. So although I love gold, for me and for many, gold is a store of value. Have we made good value with gold? Yes. But Bitcoin in comparison can make monstrously more, or let me not say monstrously because monster has like a negative connotation to it, right? It has a gargantuan amount of value more that it can make than gold. They know that. Do you believe they're going to sit that out? No, there's no way. So when they become active in Bitcoin the way that they're active in gold, theoretically, Bitcoin's price should skyrocket. Now, here's the question. If that's likely to happen, them getting active in Bitcoin like they're active in gold, has it happened? Has it occurred already? No, it hasn't. No. They've been dibble-dabbling. Not everybody's in. Majority of them are out. That's why I'm saying what happens when they get in. So BlackRock trying to get out ahead of everything. They're not wasting any time because they see it. First of all, the banks are not going to wait for BlackRock. People give BlackRock way too much credit. No disrespect to BlackRock. They give them way too much credit as an asset manager. People think they're more powerful than what they really are. They really do. BlackRock, Blackstone, and I know there's this mythology people have built up around these things. BlackRock, Blackstone, Vanguard. You say those names, there's this mythology around them. But the banks don't, the central banks don't care about what BlackRock does. So when the central banks move and when the higher level commercial banks move, they'll shake the whole earth. BlackRock right now is buying Bitcoin. Are they shaking the earth? No. So they know that. They're playing their position saying, oh, wait, before these people over here, central banks and higher level commercial banks start flooding Bitcoin and crypto with this capital that will make it skyrocket. Let us get ours now. Let's get it now. It goes down low. Let's get some. And that's why you have this being reported. You can see what they're telling you the story of what they believe in their actions. BlackRock defies Bitcoin bleed with a 4-day ETF haul. Let's hear a little bit of what they have to say here, okay? U.S. Bitcoin exchange traded funds defied 2 months of gloom and notched 4 consecutive days of inflow. I like to just emphasize that that's major. They're telling you, they're waiting for that to really explode. BlackRock's iBit fund leads the pack, pulling in $219 million on Tuesday, single-handedly pushing the entire U.S. spot Bitcoin ETF market into positive territory. What does that tell you? They're serious. They believe. And they're not here to make pennies or a few thousand, a few 100,000. No, they're not. According to JP Morgan analysts, so this is coming from JP Morgan, net inflows for ETFs amounted to $210 million March 18th, while Bitwise added $12 million on March 19th. The 4-day streak of positive flows blows fresh air into a beleaguered ETF market. Let me scroll down. Bear with me. It says, while BlackRock dominated the inflows this week, not all Bitcoin ETFs shared in the bounty. They're not all going to have the same strategy. And on top of that, I believe, let's play the game if they're all in cahoots. Some will buy now and some will not. Then later on, those who bought now may not buy later, but those who didn't buy now may buy later. And it keeps a balance there. So they all get what they want without pumping the market too much, without making people too bullish. See how that works? It's like, yes, I don't know how to better explain that. Bear with me one moment. I'm trying to get all this together. I want to give you clear thoughts. Quote, investors took advantage of perceived weakness, unquote. Butterfield told DL News, he said there's been selling in short Bitcoin ETFs, unquote, suggesting that the market may be nearing a bottom, which means what? See, they're preparing for everything to go back up again. I don't know when, but I know in 2025, there's probably going to be a few more explosions. I could be completely wrong, not financial advice, but this is what they're expecting. At some point in the future, they're expecting Bitcoin to explode. I don't see why it wouldn't. So there is that. Let's go here, read this little tidbit here from this article. This article is titled, "The Fed Blinked." What? Ooh. You know what happens when somebody blink, right? You blink or flinch, you get that. 2 for flinching. The Bitcoin bull run. Who remembers that? That's from an old school era. People are not like that anymore, are they? Right? The Bitcoin bull run return is now inevitable. Really? On Wednesday, the U.S. Federal Reserve decided to leave its benchmark interest rate unchanged in the 4.25 to 4.5% range, and Bitcoin reacted instantly. The pause, while widely anticipated, came with a slightly revised outlook that includes a slower timeline for future rate cuts and a notable adjustment to the central bank's balance sheet reduction pace. According to the Federal Open Market Committee statement, the Fed's, quote, dot plot, unquote, now indicates only 2 25 basis point rate cuts for this year, fewer than many market participants expected. All right, let's scroll down here. What this means for Bitcoin. Shortly after the Fed's announcement, Bitcoin rallied 4 to 5%. You do know what that tells us, right? Now that the people have exposed their psychology, they're waiting for any positive catalyst. Any positive catalyst. And they're ready to go in and make some of that money. Yeah, they're ready to make some money. Oh, yeah. I know it. I know what's coming. It says briefly surpassing USD 86,000 US dollars level. Nick Badia, founder of the Bitcoin Lair and author of Bitcoin Age, took to his latest video update to dissect the decision's implications. Quote, Bitcoin up 4% on the news that the Fed slows QT and is still committed to cutting interest rates, unquote. My apologies for reading so choppy. All right, everyone. So there's a fantastic golden age ahead, in my humble opinion. That's just how I feel. You don't have to agree. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, everybody, let's get to the Monday.